how they have a setting prior to the game saying, "Oh, do you want to play with puzzles at this difficulty and hints at this?" Or they have all these small settings that will allow you to turn on and turn off certain things. So like the puzzle will be extra difficult and the combat will be easier, or all the language is indigenous, so you don't understand everyone, but you like it kind of gives you a better sense of where you are in the world.
Yeah.
This is like a
Assassin's Creed has a worse version of that.
What is it?
I just mean it's less pervasive. Like for example, okay, so Tomb Raider lets you do it custom for each different type of gameplay.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed lets you do it for one type of gameplay, which is taking off help, and some tracking help, just stuff that is very particular.
Yeah, I think that's annoying. I think actually Red Dead could do that too. If you get rid of your map, they'll give you directions. The NPCs will start giving you like physical directions about where to go.
Oh, what?
That's another thing I heard. But it all depends on, I guess, the level of role playing that's like enjoyable and experience most people enjoy. Like that should be the way you decide what should be the normal. Like what would be a normal settings for a game. I just find myself wondering, like, at what point in decision making, like, was this all, I don't know, was this like seen as like the right way to go? And I think maybe Dom was right earlier. They built themselves a brand around this type of movement, this type of game. They kind of have to keep going this direction because it's the only direction they put themselves in a box to go into.
Well, and also you need to coordinate literally like 600 or 700 people.
Yeah.
More content than some AAA games with like a third of the people.
Right.
Because if you just, I mean, at least half, yeah.
Just 200.
Like Assassin's Creed can take as many as like 1,000 people.
Yeah, man. You have like 8 studios working at once.
So with From Software, where pretty much everything in the game is already defined, like they can already like look at a guidebook and like play a game that has that in it. It's going to streamline the development process.
Any thoughts on realism being added to games?
I think it's more or less kind of the same thing. Depending on... Oh shit, I'm gonna die.
We all are.
It really depends on... It's like Dom said, like it's a very broad definition. Like it depends on the type of game that you're making. Obviously, some games are aiming for... Like, I don't think it's going to take away from anything. Like, the realistic games are going to get more realistic. That's what you want. So, I have no objection to that.
Like, what is remaining fun?
But what is fun? What's fun in a realistic game for you?
Yeah, I think that's more on Chris's point, where different strokes for different folks, right? I just think like sort of like how Fallout attracted me by introducing gunplay that actually worked. So basically by pigeonholing itself less, I think the reverse is going to happen more often now, which is certain genres are going to pigeonhole their audiences more, and it'll start showing with their sales numbers.
Like, what's unfun about Red Dead being realistic?
Brian mentioned how there's just a lot of small things that add up. The detail goes into custom animations for looting a person, for opening cupboards and picking up items. They're all there and present, and they look like what a person would do when they're like going through items. But it's also very tedious to sit and see the same cupboard opening animation 5 times to get through a full room and observe all the objects there.
Here's the thing, though. Unrealistic games do that too.
Yeah, but I would say there's degrees in which that becomes more, I guess, more annoying. When everything takes about 10 to 15 seconds, where in other games you just show up, press a button, you see the list of items there. There's still there's a what's the term? Gradient to how annoying it can get. So yeah, you're right. This is stuff that exists in a lot of different games. But what people have been mentioning is how, because there's so much detail in everything that's done and how much time everything takes in Red Dead Redemption 2, they're finding that they may not actually want that at all in their game. They themselves are getting annoyed by all this detail.
Opening the 100th cupboard might be a little annoying.
Yeah, especially if it takes like 30 minutes to get through.
You've been playing for like 20 hours and seeing the same nation every time.
I mean, I know it's annoying, but I don't attribute that to games being realistic. I attribute that to just like that being a core gameplay mechanic to some games. Like opening chests.
It's a cinematic immersion tool.
Yeah, and then realistic games do that, unrealistic games do that, and then there are unrealistic games that that also do this kind of cinematic chest opening sequence. Where-
So long.
Like,
Hearthstone comes to mind.
so my
Oh god. Alright, Jay, continue.
So my point is, it's like it's not whether or not whether or not a game is realistic. It's whether or not a game decides to incorporate that properly. You know, like a game being realistic doesn't necessarily mean, you know,
But you could out there repeat these?
a game being realistic doesn't necessarily entail that it's gonna be clunkier. Just because they decide to make it more immersive in certain aspects.
Yeah, I think that's on the designers to immerse people gracefully, as opposed to kind of forcing it on you.
It's because you can still speed up the animations. If a chest opening looks super realistic, it doesn't fucking matter, because like you could speed up the chest opening animation, right?
Or you put in a setting to enable animations.
Yeah, or you can double tap the button to do a quick open. You know,
Yeah, there's all kinds of workarounds.
there's definitely workarounds. It's less of a stupid, like whether or not the game, because a lot of games can be unrealistic and also very annoying to play. Like can't think of any.
I mean, it also kind of sounds like at least giving the player the option is what's important here, right?
Sorry, Jay. What did you forget an example for?
No, I just kind of I can't think of any examples because
No, I missed the last bit of what you said.
I said that you can double tap a button to open a chest, kind of thing.
Open it
Oh,
faster. Or
Yeah. Just give an animation. I
My bad.
distinctly remember something like that in a game.
I think stuff like well, yeah, like in Borderlands 2, I think you can hold.
Yeah, you just
the
hold.
loot
You
button
just hold.
to,
You
like,
pick up
pick
all the.
everything.
Pick up all the loot around you.
Yeah, instead of having to pick each one up individually.
So, that's totally up to the designer.
Yeah. Because like it's Red Dead Redemption 2, they don't give you that option for a lot of things. Like like for each thing you do, at least as far as I am in the game, you have to do each thing individually.
That's not the problem of the desire to work in immersive animations. It's more of a designer choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely ties into what Dom was talking about earlier with like that is what Rockstar is known for, so that's why they're kind of just going all in with it.
Like, yeah, like the Rockstar's games traditionally aren't known to be the smoothest of, like the fastest of games is what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight in certain aspects of Rockstar's game. And I was not a fan of GTA's just movement and shooting.
I didn't want to finish GTA. GTA was a little like.
Somehow I enjoyed 4 way more than 5. And I felt weird being that person. It could also be nostalgia, which I'm pretty strongly guessing it is.
I find it hard to believe that you think that, Christian, because I think 5 is like they just optimized 4, and that's how 5 came about.
What game? Sorry.
GTA 4 versus GTA 5.
Yeah, so I guess I just enjoyed those quirks. Again, maybe going towards how people have different, are subjective in what they like. I enjoyed the weightiness of driving in 4 more than, I guess, the arcadiness of 5. I still enjoyed like different aspects of 5. I think the shooting is better. I find myself like still not liking the shooting system.
Yeah, that's why I like the Scorpion tank from Halo 2 more. It has more weight to it.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally valid.
God, that freaking Scorpion tank just one-shotting people anywhere. Oh my god.
Hey, that mission where you start on the bridge is lit.
Oh man.
I remember getting the fucking Banshee gun on that map. You guys ever get that? Or the Scarab gun?
I think I remember seeing someone do it, but I never did it myself.
So to do that, you had to lure one of the Banshees into the tunnel, all the way to the end of the tunnel, knock off its wings, and then have it follow you into where it loads the next area so that it loads the Banshee with you. Then you steal the Banshee and fly it all the way up to one of the highest buildings where the Scarab gun is.
What? Wait, was
Yeah,
this planned or is this a bug?
This is planned. This is planned. It's an Easter egg.
Yeah, there's also a soccer ball on the map
What the
that
hell?
you can knock around with the Scarab gun. My brother and I used to get the Scarab gun and then try to kill each other without dying ourselves. Because the splash radius is so big.
Oh god. Wait, is the Scarab gun a one-shot?
It's basically shoots the same thing as Scarab shoots.
Wait, I'm trying to find what it's... Oh, here it is. Oh shit.
So anything that can die.
Oh shit. I like how there's exclamation mark, just one symbol in there. Lol. God, I miss those days when games kinda had the secrets or like the hidden Easter eggs like much more harder to find. I miss those days.
It's also like that was when the internet wasn't as big of a thing, so a lot of this stuff was a lot more word of mouth.
Yeah, like my friend came over and told me about it. I didn't see it on YouTube.
Do you remember the Vidmaster challenge? In order to get the recon armor?
I did it.
I did it too, but it was a bunch of bullshit.
It really, really
What is this
was.
challenge?
It's a bunch of bullshit.
It's basically,
Or
there was an
recon
armor
armor,
set
something.
in the game, because there was like only very few, but this is one you couldn't get without doing very specific tasks, and not just Halo 3, but also Halo ODST. You had to, the one that stands out the most is you have to finish the last level with 4 people on I think the highest difficulty, and then when you finish,
And ODST was fucking annoying as shit.
I still think it's my favorite of the Bungie Halos, just because of the
Oh, no.
soundtrack.
I love ODST, and yeah, the soundtrack's amazing.
Halo soundtrack is so good.
But the thing about ODST is that it's a lot worse on higher difficulties for me.
Oh, it's really hard because you're human.
Yeah. And like, I don't feel the spacing of health packs is good for legendary.
No.
Especially not legendary with skulls.
Yeah, so a lot of these we're doing specific skull challenges. So it would be going through having skulls on that would just increase difficulty. And then they actually counted for certain things. So if the mission I mentioned earlier, if you did up until the halfway point when you're doing an escape because the arc is about to explode, there are 4 ghosts on your like available to the player when they weren't before. They weren't there in the prior version, the prior levels of the prior, if like no skulls activated.
So they're there because you activated the skulls.
Yeah.
Right.
They're there because you're basically, they know you're doing the challenge. So then you and 3 other people have to ride them to the end of the level instead of taking the traditional warhog.
Oh,
Then there was another
had to
one.
survive?
Yeah, survive.
Yeah, the other hard part of this like whole set of achievements is that you need to do it with 3 other really good people.
Right, which ended up being, at least for me, a lot of like searching for people. They're more matchmaking.
Yeah, I had that. I cheated on that because I just knew a ton of people on Bungie.net.
Lol.
But I mean, cheated in the sense of I got a good team. It still sucked.
See, he did what people take 10 minutes to do now. You just like go to your Discord and ask one of us to help you. But the thing is, back then, this wasn't available. There wasn't like the community for Dom was specifically the Halo community.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Dom, did you meet those people just from like playing games and just messaging them? Or the
Actually, funny you mention that. So remember how I went to PAX for 2 years?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest group, Black Water Ops, which had like, I don't know, maybe 10,000 at peak. Some of us, like, old people, as in people who were in the group for a long time, met up at PAX 2011.
Oh, damn. How many of you guys got there?
Yeah, like 15?
That's a good number. Especially for like how old the game is. Shit.
Yeah, there was probably only like 100 regulars, so that was a decent chunk. And then after the group shut down, we all joined a Facebook group that I think I'm still in.
Aw. That's nice. Having an actual online community grow together. That's really
Yeah. I mean, I have one friend I wish I could get back in touch with. He's like a New Zealander.
cool.
And he was the one I started my group with. The one that was just mine, and I was the founder.
Oh, good shit. On Halo?
But unlike BWO, that only got to like 500 at its top, not 10,000. There were a lot that was not considered big on Bungie.net. 500 was nothing crazy. Here, can we jump into Dark Souls while we chat?
Christian, if you're down. I'm on my smaller laptop right now, so I actually cannot jump into Dark Souls, unfortunately.
Fine, I'll just with him.
Yeah, I'll join. Let me just get my controller and probably close a few windows.
Dom. Hello, Dom.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, are you pretty savvy with computer hardware? Or this is a question for J-Cho too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I think my hard drive is making squeaky noises.
Is
Why
your
do you
new
think it's
computer
like
here? Is it your new computer or your old computer?
It's my MSI laptop one. It's not my. It's kind of new. It's still like a year old. But
If it's your laptop, how do you know it's your hard drive?
I don't know. I just know it sounds like a squeaky like.
That sounds like.
Could be your hard drive. It could be your fan. It could be
I'd say
your
processor's more likely than hard.
could be your video card's fan. It could be a lot of things.
But yeah, if it's squeaky in particular, B-Chan, it's probably a fan.
Is it like the fan of the computer itself or the fan of the hard drive? Because like right
Well,
now.
yeah, we have no way of
Uh-uh.
knowing on the laptop.
Just open it up and just loop.
Yeah, unless like it is having significant performance problems, I'd assume it's the fan.
Like, do you know what causes it?
No, old computer.
Like I built my desktop for a reason. Because yeah, laptop. The other issue about a laptop is depending on the model, it's pretty hard to disassemble it into parts.
Yeah. Like, I would also open it up, Chicho, but the warranty says that if I tamper, if I open it up at any point, the warranty will stop covering it. And
Then
I've
go-
sent this thing twice. I've sent it in twice already.
Then go send it in again. That's the best you can do.
And unfortunately, that's what I
Make sure you back up everything.
Luckily, I don't have much on the. I'm just like, why does the problem keep coming back up?
Chris, are we friends on Steam? Yeah. He said he's still in Undead Settlement, right?
Chris,
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Alright, give me the
You've been
name
trying
of
that for a while, dang.
Hi, what?
Let's set a password first.
Okay.
Let's just do ABC123.
I think that might already be the password right now. But my game's still starting up. Oh shit.
No worries.
So before we just move on a bit more, JHL,
Huh?
for Smash.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2 weeks, which is like finals week.
Oh no.
Gee, well, what's your final schedule like?
Like, I actually don't know. I haven't checked, but
Gee.
we'll know soon enough when I start cramming. Oh god. You know, I think I'm gonna go to bed. This beer fucked me up.
Really?
I know it's a terrible idea to. I think it's a terrible idea to drink before something like this.
Let's chill, dude.
No, that's
Let's chill.
most people do this drunk. I've been drunk this whole time.
Oh,
I'm kidding. No, I'm just really sick.
I wish I could.
I've been high this whole time.
it's the worst thing. I'm not drunk. I just really want to sleep because that's like carbs and alcohol. The two dreaded, the potent combination.
So
Okay.
it's basically
Oh, real quick before you go to bed, I am looking at getting a Switch. What was the lowest Switch price you saw?
$240.
Do you know if it's still up?
There's a few of them that are it was like 260 with like a game. Like a very necessary game like Odyssey or like Mario Kart. I think that's a good pickup as well.
Did you know where they were offering that?
Just go on Slick Deals, search up Nintendo Switch.
Okay, so not like Amazon or Best Buy.
No, 100% no.
Okay.
The GameStop seems to be a big one.
GameStop, actually.
Yeah. Wait.
oh,
Switch
GameStop.
Yeah, because right now I have a 20% off my next purchase coupon from Target.
Okay, the 241 seem to be all out.
What's the
All gone. There's Mario Kart bundled for $300 on Amazon. Oh wait, it's expired.
Shit.
There's a $300 one that gives you a $50 GameStop gift card and $35 eShop currency, which basically is 2 games for $300 standard price. That one's actually really good.
That's on Amazon?
That's on GameStop.
GameStop.
Hey Don, the password's ABC123.
yes sir.
All lowercase.
What is here?
Yep.
I mean, JHL, do you think it's worth it? It's $20% off or 20% off coupon.
For what?
So I went to Target, bought something, and they're like, okay, your next purchase is 20% off. Anything you buy is 20% off.
Is there a max?
No. It just,
Then use it. Yes, use that.
okay. I just don't
If they don't have a cap, then use it because. Well, no, that's still $270.
Yeah, I'm 270 sure.
That's not worth it. Okay, this one is more worth it.
The GameStop one?
Yeah, use
What's
the
name
games.
of the bonfire?
You could do the game.
It's still loading. Sorry.
32 gig Switch with Let's Go Pikachu or 310. Yeah, that one's one. That's someone that people really want.
SD cards are really cheap. Don't bother.
Yeah, don't. No, don't.
It's an
Yeah.
SD card, it's not an internal storage.
No, there's internal storage, but also SD card. So just buy an SD card.
Oh, it's
I have a
Probably a
32
big
gig
one.
one.
Yeah, SD cards are dirt cheap.
I got a 32 gig one for like $10. Alright.
Here,
Oh.
while you're loading Steam, Chris. Let me add you on Steam.
I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
Alright, are you done for the night, Jay-Cho?
Yes. What do you got?
Alright, man.
All right, Justin.
Good night, Jay-Cho.
Good luck with school.
What's your